Anyways, we got that all sorted out. Mike is in for a weekly installment of Good Policies. We've been doing this for years. And Mike, I proved it to you. Every day there's a national this and that or international this and that day, right?
Sure.
Yesterday was National Pet Insurance Day.
Oh, wow.
I know we've talked about insuring our loved ones.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about this in a very long time.
Happy to. There's a couple, or there's quite a few players in the realm of pet insurance, and you can get pet insurance for your dog or your cat. I'm not aware of a lot of companies or any companies that I work with directly that insure beyond that. I mean, you can get mortality coverage for livestock. That's something completely different. We're talking about domestic animals, pet insurance. And so for cats and dogs, what are your options? Many. But you know what I'm finding, and I think it's important to start with this? Let's start with the exclamation point. It's expensive. Right? When you look at it, it's not going to be pennies on the dollar. It's going to have some cost to it. It's about really, and it's like anything else with insurance, leveraging what you want for a covered loss to what you want to pay out of pocket for a premium.
Well, so somebody may have a purebred cat. They may have a pedigree dog, and that investment may be worth it, wouldn't you think? I mean, there are fur babies, our loved ones.
Well, yes, and remember, this is not insuring them for their value. This is insuring them for if they get injured or have medical conditions that develop. So it's really pet health insurance. And so what you're covering is for the unexpected, right? So maybe, Charlie is 9, and labs can be prone to certain types of cancer as well as many dogs. Maybe my dog got cancer. What would be the fork in the road for me for wanting to keep Charlie's quality of life and health going and my out-of-pocket expense, right? I mean, it can be very expensive. So there's many companies out there that obviously offer treatment for that type of coverage. They also have experimental treatment that's typically covered for cancer coverage for dogs and cats. But say they injure themselves, tore an ACL. That can happen to dogs. It can be very expensive. So if your animal needs to have medical attention, you can have pet insurance to help cover that. And you can choose your limit. You can say, hey, I want up to $5,000, I want up to $10,000, or I want an unlimited annual amount for coverage for my pet, subject to a deductible. Now, much like regular health insurance, you got to deal with a deductible. And in some cases, especially if you're looking for cost, you're looking at co-insurance, right? So you got to be careful. Sometimes the prices that look really good are the companies that pay 70% or 80% of the total value after your deductible. So that can really cost you money in the end. So it's all about your level of protection, your desire of coverage for your animal. So for me, I'll use myself as an example. Charlie has pet insurance. He has unlimited coverage with a 100% reimbursement, meaning anything that he has done that's covered is going to be reimbursed back to me directly through an app. It's very simple. Boom, 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 get my money back. Totally sweet. Very, very, it's expensive. I'm not going to lie. That premium came up this year. I'm like, man, you're lucky. I love you. But I think what I find, Jeff, is people who have animals that they've gotten to that point where, oh my God, what do? I don't know if I can afford this. I was there with my black lab Riley many years ago. She had to have a double mastectomy. She had breast cancer, and she was our first baby of anything, And so we did everything we could. And yes, we paid out of pocket for that. And I think because of that recall we have, that's why we're so tuned to having pet insurance for Charlie. So it's again, don't go into it thinking it's going to be a couple $100 a year. It's for Charlie, it's a couple $1,000 a year. But you know what? For my medical insurance, I pay almost what I pay for Charlie in a year in a month for my coverage. So.
Well, we've talked about, my memory isn't the greatest, but we talked about in the past, I think it was the first time we ever had the conversation with insurance and pets. How many people out there have their dog riding around in their car or truck?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not often you see a cat, but when I do, it's the coolest thing in the world.
It is, yeah.
I mean, I don't think your automotive insurance or the other person's automotive insurance is going to cover it. Cats, the crazy little fur babies they are, they can jump from a high place, displace a hip, something like that. There are other breeds out there that have commonalities like that. So these are all things to think about.
Right, and we could go on the examples of what type of coverage is in place, but just think of this. Injury or illness, that's it. There's certain minor exclusions. There are certain waiting periods. So if you get the coverage, it's not like you can say, oh, my dog has this, I'm going to get this. Oh, now I'm going to get them coverage. There's a waiting period, and also any any preconditions, previous, prior issues are not going to be covered if you're getting it late. But if you get it while they're young, I think you can get it while they're, once they're 9 months old. So not a bad thing to look into. Explore the option. For me, you mentioned, riding around in a vehicle. My auto insurance has up to $500 for pet medical. So let's use the example of Charlie, who's almost always in the truck with me. We get into an accident. Charlie sustains a pretty severe injury. My car insurance will pay up to $500 for his immediate medical attention. I have a $500 deductible on my pet medical, which means that $500 payment from my auto insurance will cover that, and then my pet medical will cover everything else.
I like it when we just bring something in from way out in left field.
I know. Neither one of us were planning on this conversation today.
No, and that's just it. That's why we call it good policies. Because everybody, first thing they think about when it comes to insurance is their home and their auto. Boom, that's it.
Right.
But there are other things. We talked about scheduling valuable items and so on. And that's why we encourage everyone to tune in every week.
Tune in every week. Call us. Call your agent. Ask questions. There's many types of pet medical companies out there. Personally, I use FIGO. I like the app. I like that I have a 24/7 veterinary assistance if I have an emergency at home. But pick the one that's right for you if you think you want it.
Only one way to find out, and that's to have the chat.
Yeah, feel free to give us a call, 748-5224. We're on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury. Online, thebarrettagency.com. Google, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Just look for Barrett Insurance Agency.
And tune in Tuesdays at 8:35.
Yes, sir, Bobby.
All right. You drive safe out there, okay?
I shall.
All right. We're headed to our Hometown Minute with Beans Homes, our first of the week. And to get us there, we've got music from Katy Perry on Magic in the Morning.